Hello world, welcome to the very basic Python tutorial. This tutorial is aimed towards beginners and new programmers, but can be made use by anyone who would like to review or renew their knowledge of Python. Alright, let's get up to speed. Python is a high-level programming language used in machine learning, data science, web development, and web scraping. And it is developed in an IDE, but for this video we are going to make use of this website called rpl.it. Okay, in Python we can perform basic arithmetic operations, and some of these operations include addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and so on. So let's demonstrate how we will do it in Python. So first I will use addition, and to do that, I will print it in our terminal. So the print keyword is print and two brackets, and you enter the value you want to print in between. Okay, so I will do 12 plus 4, which is for addition, and once we print it, we get the value in our terminal here. Okay, so let me demonstrate subtraction with this symbol. Alright, that's for subtraction. Then multiplication. Okay, and division. And we get the answer here. Okay, we can also do exponents, which means to raise to the power. And to do that, we use this symbol for exponents, and we get the answer here. Also, in Python, we can do modulus, and modulus uses the percentage sign and returns the remainder of the product of 12 and 4. And for that, we get the answer 0. Okay. So in Python and programming in general, we make use of data types, and these data types are attributes of data which tells the compiler how the programmer intends to use the data. Python has plenty built-in data types, but for this tutorial we are going to make use of the very basic ones and commonly used ones, and those include integers, strings, strings, integers, strings, and booleans. Alright, so let's first talk about integers. Integers are numeric types, and numeric data types used to represent numeric values or numbers. Okay, so to print an integer, we would simply write print, and you can enter any number you like. Let me enter 19. Okay, and once we print it, we get the value in our terminal. Okay. And for strings are sequence of Unicode characters, and these Unicode characters can be represented by single quotes or double quotes. And here is an example of a string. Let me call it Paris, and once we print it, we get the value Paris. So basically strings are just text. Alright, and we also have booleans, and booleans are binary variables that can have one of two possible values. A boolean value can either be true or false, and let me print a boolean true. Alright, Alright, and I'll print another boolean down below, false. Okay, and notice how booleans are not represented with quotation marks. Okay, so we can compare these values using comparison operators, and they are otherwise called relational operators since they demonstrate the relationship between two or more values. And these comparison operators do return a Boolean value. Okay, let's first look at the equality operator. And this equality operator is simply used to compare the left-hand operand to the right-hand operand and returns a Boolean value if both sides are equal. Okay, let me demonstrate it. Let's compare two values. Let's compare 12 and 12. So this value is going to return true if 12 is equal to 12. The comparison operator right here is the double equal sign. Okay, and once we return this, we can expect it to be true. Alright, and if I'm to change this value to probably 15, we can expect the value to be false since both values are not equal. Okay, and alternatively to the equality operator, we can use the not equal operator, and this one is going to return true when both values are not equal. So with this, we can expect it to be true since 12 is not equal to 15, but if both values are 15, then we can expect it to be false. Okay, so this equality operator can be used on strings as well. It can also be used on booleans. So let me first demonstrate it with booleans. Let me true is not equal to false, and we are going to get a value of true. Alright, and if I'm to demonstrate it with a string called hello, and I put the same string here called hello, it's going to return false because both strings are equal. Alright, we also have the greater than operator, and this greater than operator simply says if the left hand operand is greater than the right hand operand, the compiler is going to return a value of true. And if I'm to demonstrate this with like this, I'm going to write 5 here. This is the greater than operator, this is the greater than symbol. So 12 greater than 5, we can expect it to be true. Okay, and if we actually change this value to 15, then we can expect it to be false. And the inverse of the greater than operator is the lesser than operator. And the lesser than operator acts the same way, but the left hand operand needs to be smaller than the right hand operand. And once we print this, we are going to get a truthy value. Alright, so we can as well compare if an operand is greater than or equal to another operand. And with this, we can use the lesser than or the greater than or equal to operator. So let's first use the lesser than or equal to operator. So we are going to denote it this way, and this is going to return true if 12 is lesser than 15 or 12 is equal to 15. So this is going to return true since 12 is lesser than 15. Okay, and if I'm to change this to 15, it's going to return true value also. So if I'm to change this to the greater than or equal to operator, we are going to get a true value as well. And if this value becomes 16, still gonna return true unless the value becomes more than the one on the left, then it's going to return false. Alright, so let's list out all these operators we just talked about. Let's first start with the equality operator. Equality operator, double equal, greater not equal operator, greater than operator, lesser than, see the mistake here, lesser than, greater or equal, and lesser or equal. Alright, so that's all we've talked about so far. And that's all about comparison operators in Python. Also, we do have memory locations used to store values in Python and in programming in general. And these names, the names we give to this location used to store or hold values, are called variables. And to define a variable in Python, we simply write the variable name and give it a value using the assignment operator. Variables are important because you can use the same variable to hold a value and be able to use that value throughout the program, right? So let's define a variable. Let's call it city, and I'm going to call it Bangalore. It's a city in India, in South India. And once I print it, I could print my variable called city, and I'm going to get it's going to return Bangalore in the terminal. Alright, so once the variable has been declared, we can call it at any point in the program. The value remains constant throughout the code unless we modify it. So you may be wondering how to modify a variable. To modify a variable in Python, you can simply write the variable name, then assign it a new value, just like this. Then once we call it, the variable changes values from Bangalore to Paris. Okay, if and our variable could be anything. Our variable could be a string, our variable could be a Boolean, our variable could be a number. So let me call a variable called number, and I give it my age, and once I print it, I will get the age in the terminal. Okay, so what if by next year I turn older by 1 year and I want to increase that value? Python has made it easy to increment values while coding, and with this I could simply call the variable and simply write the variable name, then I add the plus sign and I give it an equal sign, an assignment operator right before it, and I increment it by 1. So this line of code is actually saying age is equals to age plus 1. So it's saying that the age variable here, 20, with the value 20 plus 1 should be the new value of age. Okay, and once I run this, it's going to become, okay, I didn't print it out, but once I print it out, our new value is going to become 21. Oopsie, sorry. Our new value becomes 21. Okay, sorry, I did this twice. Okay. So our new value becomes 21 if I do it once. Okay, and the same thing you could do with multiplication, subtraction. You can do it for subtraction as well. Multiplication, division, exponent, modulus, and so on. Modulus. Okay. So that's all for this tutorial, and if you have any question you can drop them in the comment below. I will do my best to answer all your questions. Thank you, and please like and subscribe, and see you in the next video.